Is Halloween canceled, guys? We're going to talk about that in today's video. And we're also going to go, as you've seen by the title, we're going to be talking about is Halloween canceled and my Spirit Animatronics list for this year. It's kind of condensed. I've been having trouble getting some stuff situated. I'll get into that later. But we're going to talk about is Halloween canceled this year. And unfortunately, that's not an easy answer of course not. Or the other way of, oh yeah, it's totally canceled. It's great that it's not totally canceled, but it's also kind of unfortunate that it's not, of course not, it's not canceled. So let's get into that, not to be confusing or anything. So I'm going to start off with Spirit Halloween. I went there opening day, and my goodness, I thought it was just because it was opening day, but it wasn't. I did end up going back a week later. But they had Punctured Pete up. He was working. They had Nightcrawler from last year. He was up and working. Buzzsaw was missing his saw, and so he wasn't really working right. But he was up halfway. Pumpkin Factory was up. It wasn't working. Nothing else was up in the front. Sam was up and working on the side there. Shorty wasn't up. Night Stalker was up and working. Whack-A-Mole was up and working. And that was it. Other than the jumping spiders. I would not expect anything less. I imagine they have warehouses full of those things. So yeah, I went back a week later and it was kind of the same thing. So I gave them about 2 weeks. Went back and they did have some stuff up. But as far as the front goes, Nightcrawler was actually gone, so somebody bought him. They didn't have anything else up in front other than I guess it's just an overstock item. It's a giant pumpkin head, and it's pretty tall, maybe 8-9 feet. But it's just kind of like a pumpkin stalker sort of prop. I think it moves and talks. But I did end up talking to the employees there, and they said it's because they're just trying to fill space. They did actually end up putting Wraith there. I don't know how they got that in stock, just because it's supposed to be not in store. It's supposed to be an online only, but they did end up getting that in and putting it up. They did put up, a terrible one from last year in the front. The Hauntress, they put her up. They did end up putting Shorty up. I just went yesterday. Shorty was up. They did have Mr. Howe up finally. Baphomet wasn't there. Pennywise wasn't there. Grimm was up, but he wasn't really working. His left arm was stuck in the up position. So it was working, but his left arm wasn't cooperating. Nightcrawler still wasn't in stock, so I don't think they're getting another one in. Jumping Spider was there. Buzzsaw was fixed. He was up and working. Punctured Pete was still doing his thing. They did have Henry Hustle. He was on a loop, so he didn't even have to push anything. He was just going like Punctured Pete. And then Harriet Hustle was not there. As far as the other ones, again, Sam and Shorty were there. They were both working. And then in the back, Night Stalker was still there. The Harvester of Souls was up. Caretaker was not there. Whack-A-Mole was up. And Evelyn Leech was up in the back. Little girl, I don't know the name, the little girl with the creepy haunty dude behind her, was not there. So getting into is Halloween canceled and kind of answering that question, the real reason I say that is because all of the stores, not just Spirit, Lowe's, Home Depot, all of these stores that are carrying Halloween animatronics and props and things like that are having trouble getting international shipping going, and then they're having trouble when they finally get that set up. They're having trouble with domestic shipping. They're not having enough truck drivers to actually ship the stuff, so when they do get it in stock, as far as in the US, they're having trouble getting it to their store. So it's just been a back and forth thing. When Spirit gets something in, if it's something popular like Mr. Dark, they're going to sell out of it really quick, and they just don't have a huge stock. They have maybe 10 boxes of animatronics there. Usually they have 30, 40, 50, and they're just not stocked up very well. The home decor is getting really, really thin. Costumes seem to be doing fine. They sold out of all of their Michael Myers masks. The mask selection the first week was really thin. It's built up quite a bit since then, but yeah, certain things like Michael Myers, they're just sold out of completely. And I don't know if they're getting stuff back in. I talked to them yesterday and they said they were supposed to get another shipment in on Tuesday, so we'll see. I'll head back there and see if I can find anything else, because I haven't seen like half of the props in person. So with that being said, I'm going to get into the props here as far as my list goes. Jumping into the first one, which is Buzzsaw. He was one that I wanted to see in person and wanted to pick up this year. He's $279, not terrible. He's 6 feet, kind of an average height for a lot of the props that you see coming through Spirit. But he's big, he's wide. He's got the hammer, he's got the saw moves. The voice matches the character, the sayings match the voice and the character, so he's a really well-rounded prop. So he's going on number 1. Number 2 would be Mr. Howe. He wasn't number 2 just seeing him online, but actually seeing him in person I was pretty impressed. $299 is kind of steep, but it's not out of the park range as far as would I get this, because the oversized feet, the oversized hands, and the head, it's kind of impressive seeing it in person. If you haven't seen him in person, I hope you get to see him in person this year. And he only has one. He doesn't even say anything. He only has one action, which is moving his head up and howling, but he does it really well. So that being said, he is number 2 on the list, and I'll try to pick him up if I can get him at a discount. I might go on the 31st and see if they have any in stock at that point, any that are broken maybe that I can try and fix up. But we'll see about that one. Mr. Dark is 3rd. I haven't seen him in person. He could go up 1 or 2 depending, but again, I haven't seen him in person. They do have one in stock in store, but he is broken. So that was my actual concern for him. I love the idea of the scissor lift. We haven't seen anything like that at Spirit that I know of. Could be wrong, but my thing was the props and the animatronics at Spirit aren't the best quality all the time, and so when you do something like that, my worry is that it's going to break, and that just kind of proves my point. It got shipped in and it was already broken. Hopefully they can fix it, and I can see him this year. But as far as that one goes, he is number 3. I think he's $250 from what I searched up. They don't have him on the site. Spirit actually has only, I think, 6 of the new animatronics for this year now. They keep changing. Again, it's probably just because they keep getting out of stock on stuff and they can't get stuff back in. But number 4 would be Harriet Hustle. I haven't seen her either, but she was definitely one that I wanted to pick up. So I'm hoping that they get her in Tuesday, and so I can see. Let's see, Night Stalker is kind of another surprise. That's number 5 on the list. He is in stock. I did get to see him. On the video, I wasn't very impressed. It was just kind of a generic sort of prop to me. I don't know. It just didn't do it for me. But seeing in person, the maniacal laughing really got me. I love clowns. I love the maniacal sort of crazy laugh. So that one kind of hit home for me. And I do like that one. That one is, let's see, $179 at 5 feet. Not bad, not bad. I don't think I'll pick him up, maybe, but he's definitely a good prop. I say this year compared to last year, I think last year there was a huge spread of really good A+ props, middle props that were just kind of okay, not bad, not great, and then really bad props. This year is kind of an overall even spread. So it's kind of nice. It's kind of different. There's not too many that are terrible. There are some that are bad, and we'll get to those later. But kind of an more even spread this year. But with that being said, Beetlejuice is next up on the list. That is 4, 5, 6. He could go up. Again, I haven't seen him. Just seeing the video. Obviously, the videos don't do it justice, but just seeing the video. The face kind of looks a little dorky to me, but I think this one is licensed, and I think I would actually really like it if I got to saw it in person. So hopefully they'll get more in stock. It's just kind of is what it is with everything going on. So I can't really say much about him other than hopefully I get to see him, and maybe we'll make an updated list of this animatronics list for this year. Next up is Grimm. While he wasn't fully working, he was up and working. I really wanted to get the 12-foot skeleton from Home Depot. Unfortunately, my store only got one in stock, and of course that sold probably within the first minute of it going out. And everyone who buys surplus of them just to resell them, or they're wanting, the lowest I've seen is $500, and then the highest is actually like $1,100, which is just crazy. Unfortunately, I think the company who makes these, if Home Depot does decide to bring them back next year, is actually going to raise the price, just because they've seen that people scoop them up at $2.99 and buy truckloads of them. So I'm sure they'll pay $3.99 for, even $500 for them in store. So hopefully that doesn't happen, but I can imagine that's going to happen with the 12-foot skeletons. But getting back to the list here, the next one is experiment number 4. Haven't seen him, but it's really simple. Kind of like Mr. Grimm, he does one thing, but he does it really well. I could see this being a good scare prop, whether it's in a haunted house or just in your house. It does one thing, but it does it really well. It looks pretty cool, and it's only $99. So with 20% off coupon, you're getting a pretty good deal with that. The next is Baphomet. Don't care for the whole demon goat thing, but as far as just the animatronic itself goes, it is pretty unique. I think it's just like a plastic mold. It's not a latex or anything. I haven't seen it in person, but it does look pretty cool, the movement. I think it's $2.99, which is kind of steep. I wouldn't pay that for that prop. I'd get Mr. Howe all day over that, but it does look like a pretty cool prop. Next one is going to be controversial, I know, but is Shorty. I haven't actually seen the movie, and that's the only reason why he's so low on the list. I'm sure if I saw the movie, he'd go up, just like Sam. I think last year was actually the first time I watched Trick or Treat. So Sam before, because spirits kept bringing him back, he wasn't anything that I really paid attention to. But because I saw the movie, now obviously the main theme song and everything, and seeing him in the movie, it's like, oh, that's pretty cool. So I'm sure that would happen with Shorty. I can't really say anything else other than I haven't seen him, so I can't really base that review off of just seeing him in store, which is kind of why he's lower on the list, because it just doesn't really do it for me as a clown. I think it's like an 80s movie, and it's just kind of a weird clown. If you haven't seen the movie and you don't know what Killer Clowns from Outer Space is, it's just kind of a weird prop. So moving on is Henry Hustle. I love the idea of Henry Hustle with the head popping out. The thing that gets me is the voice. I don't really care for. It kind of reminds me of that terrible prop from last year. Won't even say the name of that one. The voice is similar to that, so I don't know if the same people made it. But as far as the prop goes, I really do like it. I don't care for the face sculpt of the head that pops out. I actually kind of wish this was just a static prop. Drop the price a little bit, make it a static prop, and I think that just a classic clown, not scary face or anything, just kind of like a party clown, is creepy enough in that sense. You don't always have to go super creepy scary to get creepy when it comes to clowns, and I think that would be cool if they did a static prop with that. I will be watching for people. I know some people on YouTube do buy these and retrofit them. They'll do paint jobs and everything on them. So I'm curious to know if somebody's going to do that with Henry Hustle. But next up is Pennywise. I do like Pennywise. The hair on this is super derpy looking. It's really wonky, but it does seem to pop out really nice. Again, I haven't seen it in person, unfortunately, but it does look pretty cool. It comes with the sewer. I don't know how big it is. Pennywise is $2.19, so it doesn't seem like too big of a price tag for it, but again, that would have to be something that if I saw it in person, maybe it would move up on the list there. But the next one on the list is Ghostface. This one is classic Ghostface with all the Scream movies. Super classic, along with Freddy and Michael and Jason and all them. Something that's just going to live on forever. With this, so I think it's 5.4 feet tall. Don't quote me on that. I couldn't find that, but it's $129. Price tag isn't bad, but for Ghostface, and I know Spirit did come out with a licensed full-size static prop before, so I don't know. I think they're coming out with more classic stuff recently, but I don't like this. It's like a kid-size Ghostface. It's honestly just a gosh, I keep forgetting the name of that terrible prop that I don't like, the Hauntress. It's a reskin of the Hauntress. It doesn't make any scream, it doesn't do any noise, it just pops out, and then the knife in the hand just kind of flops around, and it's just weird. It doesn't do it for me. It's not scary. It's just a bad prop. Ghostface in itself isn't a bad prop, but this one is. So unfortunately, that's why it's so low on the list. The next one is a Caretaker. Just kind of a boring, nothing special prop, and you're going to get those every year. But there's not really a whole lot to say about that. I haven't seen it in person anyway, so not really impressed with the videos. If I see it in person, I can update, but I don't think it'll go very far up if it does move. And then the last one I'm going to hit is Evelyn Leech. I don't get the story of this. It's a bride holding her husband's head, but the head is green, like it's kind of like zombie-ish, but the eyes light up. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. It's not on Spirit's website, so I can't really see the description of it either. I'm sure if I looked it up long enough I could find a description, but it doesn't look very cool. This was in store yesterday. I did get to see it, but the nose is actually smashed in, so that tells me it's not a latex, it's actually just a plastic face, which is kind of unfortunate, because if it gets damaged like that, like the nose, it was pretty pressed in, and you're not going to really be able to fix that. You might if it's a hollow one and you push the nose out, but again, you risk actually cracking the plastic, so it's kind of just a cheaper prop. I don't know how much it is. Evelyn, $199. That's steep for what that is, guys. That is steep. Wow. I could see that being like $120, but even then I wouldn't buy it. It's just not a great prop. The last two I'm actually going to hit are online only. The Grave Grabber is one that I would pick up if that was in store. That's $119. I do like it. The green, the groaning, kind of coming out of a tombstone sort of grave there. That works. It's simple, but it works. So I like that one. And then the next one is the W Wraith. I don't get the whole W Wraith. Why not just Wraith? I don't know. Explain that. If one of you guys knows what the name is and why they did W Wraith rather than just Wraith, let me know. But it's $170. This one is in store. They did actually put this one up just to fill space. It's where Pennywise would be. And yeah, this is a $40 prop, honestly. It's terrible. If you have any sort of DIY, anything in your bones, you could even make this for $20. Go to yard sales, get some chicken wire, get some Christmas lights or some solar lights if you could find them, get an oscillating fan and some cheesecloth. And if you wanted to starch it so it didn't move, the cloth didn't move, you could do that. And literally, I'm going to say for under $40 you can make this prop. It's terrible. I know they have to make money on props, but that is just a terrible prop. So anyway, before I let you guys go on this one, I do want to say that I did get two props yesterday. I did actually get Buzzsaw. He is in the back there. It's too dark. I don't think you guys can see him in the video. But I also got Sam next to Miss Mercy there. So now I have 4 full-size props up. I have the Butcher, Miss Mercy, Sam, and Buzzsaw. I will say Buzzsaw's hands, both of them are really heavy actually. I didn't expect them to be that heavy, but they are. and it kind of weighs down on him, but super cool prop. Again, overall, just a really cool one. The sayings fit the voice, fit the character, and my son actually picked that one out, which is funny. I gave him a choice of Mr. Howell on that one, and he picked that one out, so good choice. That was one that I wanted to get anyway. And then Sam was actually 50% off because the guy that works on them, I was talking to him, and he said that corporate was coming down last week, and so he told his manager, if I can't fix Sam within 30 seconds, I'm just going to put him up for 50% off. He couldn't fix him in 30 seconds, so I got it for like $80, which is a great deal. It came with the other head as well. I will say the motors and gears are all working. You can hear him. The music plays. So he's wanting to work. I'm going to really try and get him fixed up. Even if I can't, though, it's still a really cool prop, even as a static. But it does work with the music, so it is a really cool prop. I do like Sam. Trick or Treat is one of the weird movies. I gotta say, if you haven't seen it, it's a weird movie. It's kind of like 3 or 4 short films that weren't long enough to make their own films, and so they just slammed them together, and it's a weird movie, but it's cool. And Sam is just iconic. Is one of those Freddy, Jason, Michael Myers kind of characters. He's just gonna live on forever. I think Spirit's always gonna bring him back because it's just a popular animatronic, popular character. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed it. I got some other stuff coming down the pipeline, so anyway, stay tuned for that. Appreciate it. Hope you guys have a great day.